Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are actually beyond the travel season now. Everybody's back home, but it doesn't hold back the SunPath Products NSL news from running NSL talk. And we are actually at the beginning of the new year. It's the 5th of January. And I may welcome Mr. Gary Smith. Hi, Gary.
Hey, Kurt. Yeah, hi, Kurt. Hey, Chris.
And Mr. Chris Talbert.
Hey, guys. How are you? Kurt, you must really want to do this to set it up like that.
And we are all at different locations, of course. Isn't that cool? Gary, where are you?
I'm on Texel, the island of Texel in Holland.
How's the weather on Texel?
Freezing cold. Freezing cold. The last 2 days we've just had this huge winter snap, and I guess winter's arrived.
And Chris, you are probably at the headquarters.
I am sitting at my desk at SunPath, so let's get this done before the boss knows I'm doing it.
That is in North Carolina.
Yes, I'm in Rayford, North Carolina.
Okay, how's the weather there?
It actually, just like Gary said, it just got cold the past couple of days, and it's not as cold as Texel, but it's pretty freaking cold.
Yeah,
it's too cold for golf, that's for sure.
I keep my input for the end. We are in Florida. It's in the high 60s, low 70s, blue skies. Sorry, guys.
You know how quickly we can end this, right?
All right. Well, Happy New Year, first of all. And
Happy New Year.
And again, we are all beyond travel season is over. We had holidays and we're all back home. So let's begin with a little review of the 2015 season, and then move into what's going to happen this year. We all met last time in Dubai. So, Gary, how was your Dubai experience? First the indoor clash and then the outdoor competition at the World Air Games.
I think it was great to see that indoor clash. It was we were all looking forward to seeing Airspeed Hayabusa from me personally, and I think it played out exactly like I expected. It would be tight, and I think if you had to put both those teams back, which they'll be in window this month, it's going to be the same. It's going to be tight between the two, and of course Hayabusa has an edge with regards to they always coming up in the tunnel, but it might turn against them. They might lose it. The World Air Games outdoor was also something that we never had not seen Airspeed against Hayabusa. I was a little bit worried on the Hayabusa side because they had not trained enough. We had Bob, who's new, at that high level. And I was very surprised that Hayabusa hung with Airspeed. I would have bet money against Hayabusa.
Chris, you were observing this Hayabusa Airspeed battle more from a neutral position, I guess. Gary was involved, obviously. He's on the Hayabusa side.
Well, yeah, I saw it was like Gary said. I wasn't there for the indoor meet, and I never did get a chance to see any of the footage. I just arrived. Actually, I think you and I crossed paths over the Atlantic somewhere, and I just got there in time to catch the outdoor meet. And it was definitely, it was a good fight. And like Gary said, it could go either way. I think the nod, despite the win notwithstanding, the nod in competition experience and kind of keeping everything on an even keel went to Hayabusa, with Airspeed having they had a couple of rounds that they found themselves having to fight their way out of a bit of a hole, where Hayabusa was a little more even keel the whole time. But it was a good battle, and clearly it's just another opportunity to see the best in the world, and it's just a small preview of what we're going to see in at Windor or at Paraclete, and then of course in Chicago in September.
Yep. And then there was more going on in Dubai. It was not only that the competition was as exciting as it was, but we had some announcements there. Did it come to you as a surprise, Gary, that when Thomas Hughes announced that he will not be with Airspeed any longer after the Mondial?
Yes, it was a surprise. I must say, because I didn't know before, but I must say I actually went to the US Nationals, and I had a chat with Thomas. We never chatted about it, but I kind of could read a little bit in between the lines. Thomas is a fierce competitor, and but of course life moves on for everybody. And I think he's moving on in a great direction. with expecting a child, and I don't think it's wrong, and I think he will be happy whichever way he goes.
Yeah. But for the skydiving world and the competition world, it was a kind of a shock, the supply.
Yeah.
And
yes, we were all shocked for sure.
yeah, and it came early. Chris, what in your skydiving career, which is a very long one, and Gary too, but let me ask Chris first. Have you seen that ever before, that the team would announce a personnel change like a year ahead of time?
Yeah, I've seen it before, and I think it's these formal announcements are becoming more common. So maybe we haven't seen this kind of formal announcement where the team openly says it, or the team member, in this case Thomas, gets publicly says, "Okay, I'm done after this." But I think that's been more the norm than people realize. Having been inside the team, it was always known. On the Golden Knights, it was always known who would be leaving at the end of each year, and typically after a World Championship. And that's it's almost necessary, because there are more talented skydivers in the world than there are teams to put them on. So a team needs the time to start scoping, scouting out, and it needs to say, hey, we're going to have a slot open, so they can identify who might be interested and who they may be interested in. I think the only difference now is just that the announcements are more formal and more public. I think it's always been a case where, at least within the team, they've said to their teammates, "Hey guys, I'll give you everything I have until this competition, and then no more."
What do you think, Gary? Was that new?
Yeah. No. Yes, of course. I think it's new, but it's almost like Chris. That's how life's going, and I think it's almost the best way, because in a way it prepares everybody for the change. If there's a newcomer and a new member, an alternate, for example, like we had in Hayabusa with Roy leaving, we only knew after the meet. I think he'd made up his mind already, and we kind of guessed it. We didn't have an alternate. We only found Bob after Roy had quit. So, in fact, if we knew Roy was quitting a year before, maybe we could have got him ready even sooner. So I think that's the way things should go, the way Thomas has done it,
But doesn't that kind of create an interesting situation now? Like Mikael, who is the new Airspeed member, that also was announced pretty much at the same time almost.
Now that scenario, Kurt, if I may, that's definitely new. That's definitely something I don't know that we've ever seen that before, where a team would openly say, almost a year with if it was at the Nationals, so yeah, right out a year in advance, say, okay, not only is this person leaving, but we're going to pick up that person. That's definitely new. Those decisions have always been kept within the team, and those things have always been held close. But again, there's more talented skydivers than there are teams to put them on. So maybe the strategy was to make sure that the person they wanted was still going to be available a year from when they made that decision.
I'm sure that. Do you think that is behind that, Gary?
Yeah, they already had their choice, so they didn't have to. They didn't have to say, "Well, we're scouting between 2 or 3 different players." So they knew, and I think obviously Mikael knew that he was going. So to bring it out into the open, otherwise we'd all be sitting here guessing who they're going to put where, and different options, and people would be probably emailing them. I want to try out. I want to give me that. So they've kind of put an end to all of that.
All the rhythm tryouts in the past, but this time rhythm didn't have a tryout, as it seems.
No,
they reacted quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know which came first. Did Mikael tell them I'm leaving, and then they found 2 others, or who knows? Who knows how that whole thing played out?
Yeah, I don't know the order, and the only thing is I know that by the end or before the end of the year, it was all out and open public information. You're laughing, Chris.
Oh, it's just like you don't know what order that all happened, and that's just. I mean, there's still going to be those secrets. I was joking with Doug Barron recently about at the end of the year, the text messages and the emails, or and the phone calls start happening, and the speculation starts happening, and everybody wants to be on a good team, and people want to pursue their own goals, and at some point, you have to be able to selfish to pursue your own goals versus what your friends might want to do. And the reason I was laughing is that, you see it. It's just part of the nature of this sport. It's, the way it goes is that because there's no agents acting on your behalf, so you have to act on your own behalf. And so when the time comes it's usually around 7 or 8 of the nationals, people start asking the questions, who's going where, and hey, let me get your phone number in case I don't have it. And the meetings, we're going to have a meeting. And it happens every year, but that's just the way, that's just the nature of this sport in that although we skydive and they train at a professional level, it's still amateur in as much as it's self-funded. And so guys really have to look out for themselves to try and, accomplish their own goals and try and put themselves in a position to become national champion, world champion, whatever it is that they've decided they want to do.
And it still makes it very interesting. Let's just do this. Let's look 1 year ahead. So this year, of course, airspeed is, by far the dominating team in the US. There's no doubt about that. They have to train hard to beat Hayabusa. But what comes after that? Gary, what do you see in So what the situation is like, Rhythm has 1 year now, 1 whole year to train with a new lineup.
Yeah, it must be exciting for the Rhythm. If I was Rhythm, I'd be going, okay, well, this year we're going to go full out. I think they're fully sponsored, that they can go as hard as they can, knowing that they will then, at the end of the year, they should be theoretically ahead of a new airspeed, lineup with all the airspeed minus Thomas Hughes. So, and then who knows what they do with their slots within airspeed. So it'll be very interesting. Very interesting, but for Rhythm, it might put them ahead again.
That would be so. I mean, ahead again. I don't recall that they have ever been ahead yet. So that would be a completely new situation too.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate that we've all spoken about it, but Rhythm has obviously bred people that airspeed have taken away from them.
They call it the farm team.
Yeah, but and I don't mean anything bad with it, but at the end of the day, if it's one of those that if a Rhythm team had stuck together, could they have been ahead of airspeed right now? Who knows?
Good, all speculation, but they have never been. Chris, do you know the slots and the new Rhythm slots?
You know what? I don't. I know that Steve and Jeanette switch places. I know that Steve is the outside center. I know that Steve is the outside center now. I don't know the remainder of the slots. Doug told me, but sorry, I forgot. Bill's got to call on line 1.
That's not your boss yet, is he? Still got a few minutes. Hurry.
Oh no, we're fine. The door. When somebody comes busting in the door, don't worry.
So what did Doug say?
He told me what the slots were going to be, but honestly, I can't remember how it was going to play out.
Well, they are now in Sebastian. I'm planning to go down there this week or later in the week anyway and visit them. So I guess then we'll probably find out.
Of course you are.
My job. My boss sends me there. That's you. Okay, so the situation interesting. Obviously, coming up between the Rhythm and the airspeed, not this year, but maybe by the end of the year, because it's not only Rhythm having a whole year to train, it's a shake-up in the airspeed lineup.
Sure.
So what's coming for Hayabusa looking at this situation?
Well, as it is right now, and I speak off the top of my head because it has not been discussed, but they will continue. Those guys are keen to go on, and I believe, the team spirit has never been so good as it is now with Bob and the team. And maybe it's because of a new guy, brings new spirits and everyone's happy. Who knows, after 2 years, they might be tired of each other. But right now, they're all keen to go on. And they even said if Thomas steps out, when Thomas leaves airspeed, does it make it an even a softer year? And I said, well, you can never think that out of the US is going to become a soft team. There'll always be a strong team coming out of the US. The French have rebuilt and they've become a little bit of a softer target, if I can mention it and put it in that way. And who knows, maybe in 2 years the French are strong again, or 2 world meets. So,
Chris, give us also a little insights of the 8-way situation.
Well, the 8-way situation is kind of up in the air as well. Unlike airspeed, the Knights haven't made any announcements about who may or may not be leaving. but you have to just figure, and this is purely speculation, a few of those guys have been there for quite a while. And to win I've said this openly before, to win the World Championships this year at home in America, the first time that the FS World Meet's been here since 1993, it would be almost a fitting swan song for a few guys. But that's they probably have made those decisions within the team, but they haven't made them public. It wouldn't surprise me to see a few personnel changes. But 8-way it's getting hard to staff a team. I mean, the French are putting together a team from effectively the 2010 team, and those guys are doing minimal jumps because they've moved on to other commitments. Leaves the Russians, of course, are always a strong team, but you never know what their training plan is going to be. They just kind of show up and you see what they have and adjust accordingly. I think the 8-way will be this unless the Golden Knights keep going with their current team or maybe with one personnel change. 8-way will probably level off in the average after this World Meet.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So is it similar in 4-way? I mean, the 4-way has been on a pretty even level now for a while too, Gary.
Yeah, I think with 4-way, it's very the draw is so super dependent. I mean, we saw a very high fast draw in 2010, and then also 2 great performances 2012. But since then, we haven't really had any world record breakers. So although the guys are still averaging 26 and a half, maybe a 27. If you give them a fast draw, I think they'll push 28. As Hayabusa, we believe, and I'm sure Airspeed believes the same, you need to do 28 in Chicago to win. So, I mean, that's our goal. Our goal is to make everything ready for 28. And if you get a faster draw, it might go past that.
Just regarding the super sequences, it's leveling out. Of course, the super sequence is always.
Yeah, but you need 2. You need, like in Russia, there was a 56 and a 40. In 2010, and then all of a sudden you're into a 27, high 27. In Dubai, there was a 40 and a 36 or something, and that helps. That puts you so much above 28 that you can do 17, 18, 19 on a 3 blocker.
Quickly to the female 4-way women, Chris. What's your take on what's going on there? Wasn't it closer in at the World Air Games than anybody had actually thought or expected?
It was closer than anyone expected, but the girls, the girls had to fight their way out of a hole as well. But they did. They had the round. I think it was round 7. They had the round of their lives and were able to win by 4. And they're going to keep training. I think they are on a good program that, regardless of what they do. At the World Air Games or at indoor competitions or at the Paraclete XP outdoor competitions, everything that they're doing is geared towards the World Championships in Chicago. All their training, all their goals are focused around that. So anything else, all their other accomplishments are great, and they certainly have worked hard for it. But I think that in the end, they're going to peak at the World Championships in Chicago, and I don't think that there's any reason why they shouldn't be able to achieve World Championship status.
Gary, were you impressed with the new French fly-in girls?
Yeah, I mean, the French shocked us all, just as the Golden Knights did in Prague, the girls. So when we said, wow, look how these girls are flying, I think the French got their butts kicked, and they came back strong in December, where they closed it within 8 points in an indoor meet. I think that was phenomenal. And then the outdoor, both girls, the French girls had a bad round, and so did the US had a bad round, with rounds that they weren't happy with. But I think they walk away with the French got a lot of confidence from that meet, thinking, well, we only this much behind the girls, give and take here and there, we can match them. So I think it's going to be a fight. The US girls should not look back. I agree with Chris. They have to believe they can win. That's the only way that they're going to do it. And the French girls are going to look at them and say, well, we've already caught, so we need to keep going. But for the US, they can't look back. They've got to just keep believing that they will become champions. They cannot doubt it right now.
Yep.
All right, gentlemen. Gary, you're going to the Wind Games very soon, I'm sure, and with Hayabusa, right?
Yeah, no, unfortunately, I'm not going to make that meet. It's going to be my first meet between Hayabusa and Airspeed that I'm not a part of, which I'm going to think, but I will be in Dubai with the Qatar HB team.
Oh,
And logistically, it was a nightmare for me to get across to Windsor and come back. And there was no coach that I could get to take my place.
Yeah. Chris, what's up for you?
sitting at this desk doing marketing work for so bad.
You're coming down for the Shamrock Showdown, I'm sure, right?
I'm planning on being there because I've got an event and I'm planning on going to the weekend after in Z Hills. But for right now, this month is working out marketing plan and advertising dollars and a few sponsorship things. My next bit of travel isn't until the end of the month when I'm heading to England.
You competed last year at the Paraclete Indoor Championship. Are you going to do that again?
That was last year. once a decade's enough.
It was great skydiving.
You had enough chances to laugh at me. No more. I don't know. Honestly, I haven't even thought about it. I would like to, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'll join your lineup if you need somebody.
We'll see what happens.
Gary, are you in? Okay, man. Thank you.
That's a very Bill Clinton answer.
Thank you very much, Gary Smith. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt.
Chris Talbert and
boys. I'm gonna jump off. Good to talk to you both. Happy New Year, and we'll see you when we see you.
Yeah, thank you, man. We'll see you soon.
See you.